1 week ago today, we're talking about that snow coming in, and it was snowing. I've still got snow in my yard, and you see it all over town, and now it's ice. We started this Arctic hammer with snow, and we're going to end it with ice and a lot of fog. I want to make it clear here that I know when you hear terms like ice storm warning and freezing rain, that can cause quite a bit of concern. And there is concern for Monday morning for areas that could see a quarter of an inch or more. But I want to make it very clear that this is not on the magnitude of the back-to-back ice storms of December 2000. Won't be like that. And it's not to the magnitude of what we saw even 1994, Southeast Arkansas. Not to the magnitude of what we saw in Northern Arkansas, January of 2009. But this will cause problems. This is the Arctic air leaving. So it came in with snow, it's leaving with ice. Very typical to see this. The warm air chasing that Arctic air out. It's very tough to scour out. Remember last week in my videos, I was talking about that brick. That brick is the cold Arctic air. You use a garden hose and put your thumb over that garden hose. You try to move that brick with that garden hose, that water coming out. That's the warm air. Trying to move that cold air. Very difficult to do, and it's going to take some time to shove that cold air out. It's a gradual process, but we will get those temperatures above freezing tomorrow morning after a few hours of freezing rain. The ground is so cold, it's frozen, so that even if you get small amounts of freezing rain, it will cause issues on the roads, and that's what we're looking at here in the metro. I still think the worst of this will be north and west of the metro area. As of Sunday afternoon, I'm going to hit the button here, go over the latest and the newest information with the weather advisories. We're in a weather advisory in effect for the light purple shaded areas, which does include the Little Rock metro area over towards Lonoke County, I-30 from Little Rock down towards Texarkana, 167 from Little Rock into northeastern Arkansas. And you see that area, that's the area we've been highlighting in the Arkansas River Valley, deep purple. That's an ice storm warning. Those are issued when we're talking about amounts of a quarter of an inch or more. Again, you look at those historic ice storms, it was 2 inches of ice. We're not looking at something on the magnitude of that. But at a quarter of an inch or even a half an inch of ice, that can cause issues on trees, power lines, and especially roads. But again, this is on its way out, so the temperatures are going to warm, and I'll show that to you with the computer models. The winter weather severity index, we have limited to minor to moderate impacts in that area once you get towards, well, looks like Russellville, especially once you get to the north of Russellville. They're in the Arkansas River Valley, but once you get to those higher elevations, especially south and north of town, that's when you start to get into the more the icing situation, even in town. All right, so I'm going to use this computer model here, and I'll give you the time frame for a little frame of reference here. This is at 11 p.m. That purple shaded area, pink, whatever you want to call it, that's the freezing rain. Even showing some sleet near Tulsa. But this is going to be predominantly freezing rain in Arkansas. I can't rule out some sleet. This is at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry. My mistake. This is at 3 o'clock in the morning. Light freezing rain scattered, Mena up towards northwest Arkansas. Let's go to 6 a.m. So this is 6 o'clock in the morning. You see scattered areas of light freezing rain. I'm going to show you the temperatures too. I want to make sure I include the temperatures with this. So at sunrise, you're looking at temperatures that are very, very marginal. 30 to 32 degrees. Remember, once you get to 33, 34, you're in pretty good shape. Now, you hover at 30 to 32, trees, power lines, even some road surfaces, because it's been so cold lately, will have that possibility for some ice accumulation. All right, let's go back to the precipitation type. So that's at 6 a.m. Now look at that. This is a little slow, this computer model. I think it will be a little faster than this. This is at 9 o'clock in the morning. I think this will be further along, in my opinion. But you see the areas of freezing rain. I think it'll be more up towards Little Rock and Searcy. But I wanted to show you this particular computer model because it does show you the area of the highest amounts here, just near and north of the Arkansas River Valley. But even ignore the time frame. You see how this moves through Little Rock, and notice how it turns to plain rain in western Arkansas during the morning. Why? Because the temperatures. You see 39, 35, 33, 34. But we're still holding on in the mid to late morning hours across northern Arkansas, temperatures around 30 to 32 degrees. But I think by late morning, we're getting above 32 degrees. Still very cold. Don't get me wrong. When I say the Arctic air is retreating, it's still entrenched. It's just we're going to get it above freezing. That's the only difference with this. All right, so let's go back to the precipitation type and watch how that freezing rain moves through the metro during the morning and then turns to plain rain. Still some leftover areas of light ice in northeastern Arkansas, but after that it's a plain rain. So how much? Well, like I told you, because the ground is so cold, because the air temperatures are going to be at or below freezing, even light amounts can cause quite a bit of impact, and that's why you see a trace to 5/100ths of an inch. But once you get north and west of Little Rock, this is the area right here, 2600ths, 2800ths, maybe even close to 4/10ths of an inch of freezing rain in this area of the state, just to the west and the northwest. So it decreases rapidly once you go further towards the east. So this is the last round of winter weather for a while. What about after this? Well, I think we're going to see areas of heavy rainfall, at least for the first half of the week, rounds of rainfall. And it wouldn't be surprising on Tuesday if we heard some thunder, especially in southern Arkansas. This is the January thaw that we're going into now. We're going to thaw out for at least 7 to 10 days. In my previous videos, I was thinking, all right, well, we're going to go right back into this the last 2 days of January, go back into some colder weather. That does not appear to be the case. I think if we get, I'm not going to say it's going to be warm. No, I'm not saying that. But Arctic air is going to be, it's going to be held at bay for a while. I don't think we're done with winter. I don't think we're done with the Arctic air. Maybe this was the worst of it that we saw. But it's going to get cold again. And I still think we're going to see winter weather chances down the road. But I don't think we're going to have that chance for Arctic air coming back in until maybe the first week of February or a little bit after. We're not done, is what I'm trying to say. This January thaw, instead of it being shorter than I thought, it's going to be a little bit longer than I thought. All right? So let's all be careful tomorrow morning. This is not on the level of 2000. This is not on the level of 2009. And I'll even go back to 1994. I remember the sleet storm here in central Arkansas in 1994. I think we had 3 inches of sleet, 4 inches of sleet. February of 1994, I remember I dislocated my shoulder in that storm. Southeast Arkansas had just a paralyzing ice storm with a couple of inches of ice. It's not on that magnitude, but it will still cause some issues, and I want you to be weather aware and be very careful for a few hours Monday morning. Thank you so much for your trust.